the Steel Curtain. It is March 19th, 2024. Please hit the like, subscribe down below in your right-hand corner. Muchly appreciated. Trying to grow the channel. We tend to try to utilize, we're kind of old school end of things. We're from the Steel Curtain era, so we try to, we have how do you put it, a high scale for, and so we're a little more difficult in how we see our players at this channel. We expect more. We have a higher expectation. Anyway, so we're going to start off on exactly what this episode's about, and it's about the signings. We got a replacement wide receiver on Johnson, so it looks like it is Van Jefferson, who comes from the Falcons. How funny how that works, eh? We get our OC and a couple coaches from the Falcons, and it seems like here or there, seems like we're making an awful lot of connections to the Falcons. We better be cautious that we don't go too far with that. Now, this guy seems to have an okay, from what I can see, rating, but when I hear Ryan Clark, and I have great admiration and respect his word very much so, when he says that Pickens has more raw talent than Jefferson, then I tend to have to believe him. So he would know he's got a good eye for talent. So I don't know as much because I tend to just stick with my Steelers, where some people who are into the football, scene, they'll watch other teams. I don't do, I'll watch the odd playoffs, I will. But other than that, I really don't tend to get into watching other teams so much. I'm solo to my Steelers. So when I hear about this guy, now he's played for the Rams, maybe that's a positive thing. But there was a trade and he went to the Falcons, and here we are picking him up. Whereas all of our boys in the coaching staff seem to have come from there. So we'll see. Seems like it's an all right move. I it's hard to say. I don't know if his rating, as far as no one's clearly said, is he a number 3, number 2, number 1 in that category. I mean, the only way I can chalk it up is Pickens is a number 2, or that's the way we've been using him. So it makes me think, if Pickens is better, is he another number 3 like Dante? And that concerns me, because you can't keep going down that road. You got to start getting yourself the talent. So I would say, if that be the case, which I don't know yet, it's going to take some time for us. And gelling means a lot too. There's a lot that's happened here with this team. There's been a lot of moving parts, and they're not just little parts. They've been big moving parts, most important parts to components of clubs. And then we got the concern of, I think it's wise for us to stick to our plan on the O-line and keep that being built using our first round draft pick to that. But maybe second and third round, maybe you do go looking for, a young quarterback in that group, or a young receiver in that group, to, bring them into the mix while you have these guys in place. Because from what I can see of Van Jefferson, he's 30 years old, so he's kind of towards the latter part of his career. So he's not going to be your future guy. So we're going to watch that. And we got a re-signing of Killebrew, and that seems to be a good signing. He seems to be pretty good. He seems to have done well in the special teams. But a lot of moving parts, and we all sent Mike Tomlin the best on his birthday, and that's great to see them jumping around. But I'm very concerned. I just don't want us to be doing the same old usual thing we've been doing for a while, because we've allowed bad culture to come into this team for about, I'm just approximating it, around 8 years. We've seen it when Brown and Labian were here, and I guarantee you the problem was in that locker room before it actually hit the media. I can guarantee you, because there was a lot of pussyfooting around Brown. And Le'Veon always had kind of a cocky attitude too. So I'm sure it's evident now, with what we've been seeing, continual prima donnas in this organization, with Dante being another one, and Schuster had a bit of it in him. Claypool definitely had it in him. We got to get away from that. We got to find a system, and this is just a recommendation to Steelers. Maybe here's these or something. I think it was something that even in the hockey world that I was very impressed with my team there, that they started a different process in their drafting, and it's mentally testing with, they use psychological questioning to see what type of character they're getting. And it delves well because you can usually sift through it and find out the character of your player coming in, whether he's strong mentally, weak mentally, team player, or prima donna. You can usually, and I think maybe this is something, and maybe it's already in the NFL. I don't know. Um, I haven't heard of it being there, and I can say this much for our Steelers: we ain't been using it. If I can tell you that because we've had tons of prima donnas here. That's why we got the mess. Even Kenny Pickett. I mean, I wouldn't have. I had question marks with just the way he handled being sat out the rest of the season. I mean, they were actually doing him a favor just coming from that type of injury. And then kind of messy. I mean, with Matt Canada, it was messy enough that Pickett shouldn't have took it personal. But if his response was so negative that he had to be traded, it tells me it kind of sounds like he had a bit of prima donna in him too. So it shows that we've got a lot of prima donna. We've had a lot of prima donna-ness, and that tells you that your coaching staff hasn't had that room in check. It's got to change, and Khan's going to have to tell. He's going to have to tell Tomlin, enough's enough. We got to have character. Character builds strong teams. Good culture. A team that sticks together, bands together. None of this I am the man self. There's no I in team. And you got to get, if anything, if you see the I, you better cut it out of there because it's a disease. And it's evident we keep running into it. So we better get our house in order and don't, I'm just trying to keep us, as Steeler Nation, keep us calm and keep us in check. Because yes, we got some flashy names with Russell Wilson, but remember, he's 35 years old now. He's nowhere near his peak. Now, he had half decent numbers for being on a disastrous team. But is his head in the game? Is my question mark. Now, I think I was rooting for him, when we still had Pickett over Fields, because Fields got that prima donna thing as well. And they're going to have to make sure they cut that out of him, because you can't have a guy who is screaming at coaches and in front of his teammates. It just totally destroys the foundation of the team. So you can't have that type of character in it. That's a personality that needs to be put in check. And, like hopefully you got guys like Hayward, Cam Hayward and Watt and Fitzpatrick. But the problem is, that's only a handful of 3 guys that are trying to keep that ship afloat, leadership-wise. And now, right now, I remember Cam saying he's debating on retiring. So if Cam retires, man, that's a huge blow to our leadership core. And it's a huge blow to the defense. He's going to be hard to replace if he leaves. So we better be looking at that as well. Now, I think you could look at that through free agency at some point. Hopefully he comes back for at least one more. But I'd like to see him back for at least 3. Would be nice. But, he's at that point. But Cam Hayward's a great character, and we can't afford to lose him with the mess we're in right now. That would be a harsh blow. And I'm going to tell you something just to keep you in check, like keep our fans in check. We get carried away with, you got to remember Steelers broadcasters are going to pump up their moves. And I've seen this a million times over in the last while, where we thought even last year they pumped them up so much that they were going to be one of the elite teams. I knew that was not going to be the case. Now, whether they were going to be good or not, I wasn't sure, but it turned out to be the way I thought. They weren't as good as I thought, or as they were being promoted, and I didn't think they were either. So you see what I'm saying when you get a core of reporters that are for your particular club. They can give you a lot of falsehoods, a lot of false hope. So you got to really look into it objectively and keep everything wide open. So don't get on the bandwagon. We got to see if what we got gels, because you can have the best looking players, like when you look at Cleveland. Cleveland's got a phenomenal looking team and should be one of the teams that threatens for the Super Bowl. And yet, something holds them back. What is it, right? What is it? Is there a character there? Well, we know Watson as much as I love Watson with his history. Is it stuff like that that keeps them back? Although he got smashed up, so that was a harsh blow for them too. So I'm just saying, for example, there's a team that's well built, and we're not at that level. So we got to watch how high we get our hopes up, because this team's got the worst division to be in. We're not going to be at the level of the Ravens unless there's something drastic done. We're not going to be at the level of Cleveland. We may be able to compete with the Bengals, but watch out for Burrows. He's super talented too, and he can win a game on his own. So you got a lot of that there. It's a very tough division. So it's really now though that the change has to be made. It's time for accountability. If you want this team to go back into the winning mode and be of the ways of old, under the days of Cower, under the days of the steel curtain days in the 70s, which was my era. If you want those days, you've got to do things a particular way, and it's all about character and culture. That goes a long ways to winning as a team. Winning, period. Winning, whether you get in the playoffs and you don't get the Super Bowl, but it makes a winning franchise. Or you do win the Super Bowl, but it gives you your chance, and a lot better of a chance. If we don't cut the head off the snakes and get rid of the poison, you're done. It's like I say, if you don't get rid of the venom, and there's been an awful lot of venom in this organization, in that locker room, and it's evident. Dante was another one that I knew that's what this guy. I could read this guy, his character, and sure enough, it comes out. The truth comes out of the crap he was pulling behind the scenes with his teammates and coaches. You can spot a prima donna when you see one, and yet a prima donna that is not, doesn't even have the heart to, catch the ball. And you just got a real soft, got a yellow stripe, I call it, down your back. He had it. So we have to improve over Dante. That's what I'm saying. Positions like that, we should be improving. We shouldn't be settling for the same level, because Dante was number 3, and we as the fans need to hold the organization accountable to make the right moves and just stop taking anything. So with that being said, it's going to be interesting. There's been so many moves, I can't get it. I'm still trying to get a chance to go and divvy and divulge into deeper looks at some of the guys we have picked up for replacement players and see if we've actually improved. As I was telling you, I had to start coming up with a couple more videos because of all that's happened. Well, I'm not even getting that chance because we keep, signing Killebrew, and then Van Jefferson. I mean, here we get new news every day. But I would like to see us go after another wide receiver. That's just we let a couple go. So that's only one receiver we brought in. So let's hope they got somebody bigger projected and coming in. That being said, thank you for watching. Hit the like and subscribe. Please don't leave without doing that. I muchly appreciate that to grow the channel. And we have a different type of style at the channel. We kind of we don't get, how do you put it, flamboyant, so that there are falsehoods or false stories. We like to keep our feet on the ground, and that's what I base this channel on, is keeping my feet on the ground and being realistic with you, giving you that angle of keeping it real with you. There's too many people out there that just want a story, right? Make a story. Well, at this network, I do it in my hockey channel. I do it in my gospel channel. I keep it real because I'm not about a bunch of fakeness or falsehoods just to clickbait you. I won't do that. You get the basics and the truth from me. And we look deep into it and what the characters are of the people we have there. It's great to have a superstar, but some of the superstars, like, I'm sorry to say that, like Beckham Jr., I'm sorry, that's just an example of. And then Brown, after everything, he left, like the disaster he's made out of his life. And guy who could be playing football and blowing the records away probably if he had his head on his shoulders. So we like to keep it in check and keep our team positive but real. Let's keep it real. But we better be praying that Hayward Bay sticks around. Or Hayward Bay, Cam Hayward. We need Cam. We need Cam to keep that defensive core strong. Just think the world of Cam. He's a good cat, and we're going to lose him soon, so we better be thinking of looking for the future in that area of having somebody to fill his shoes when the time comes. So thank you for joining me. Leave your comments, be respectful, and we will get back to you. And I'm sure something's probably going to happen, a signing or something big, or I'll be able to continue on with those looking into deeper into the pickups we've made and see if we've made improvements or have we just filled the hole, because of late we've been just filling holes. So don't get yourself pumped so that you're let down, like last year. I knew not to do that, and I was right. But that's why I say with reporters, they don't care. They'll give you a bunch of garbage, so be careful. Don't get yourself on the bandwagon until you know what your team's about and how it's transpired. Thank you for joining me. We will catch you in the next episode. God bless.